What is up, guys? This is Merc with the mic, and this is another The MorphinCast by Red Cycling Inc. I'm Merc with the mic. I'm joined by Tenacious T.
I am always here.
In today's cast, we are going to the counterparts of Power Rangers in space. We are going back to Super Sentai, to Dohi Sentai.
Wasn't it be Denji
Sentai.
Denji Sentai.
Denji Sentai.
You know, I was thinking this while we were watching. It's Denji Sentai, but it's Super Sentai as like the
Super Sentai as whole.
is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, because like each one is a different.
Yeah. So it's
Not even
Denji.
noticing that as
Yeah,
we've
it's
been
Denji
watching.
Sentai MegaRanger.
MegaRanger.
MegaRanger. This is the equivalent of Japanese of Power Rangers in space. Yeah, they all have different ones. The Denji Sentai, Daji Sentai.
Yeah.
What was it?
But the Super
Yeah.
Sentai is the whole.
Yeah, and is in general, yeah, because
I get it.
Dire Ranger was a completely different
Because
too.
everybody keeps asking me, I'm watching it at work, and everybody's like, "What the fuck are you watching? Are
Yeah.
you watching some Japanese anime?" I was like, "No, I'm watching Super Sentai." What's Super Sentai? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's Power Rangers in
and then
Japanese.
and then they try and play along like they actually are interested in
Yeah.
what the hell I'm watching, but
It
they
it
really
is
aren't.
very interesting though.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. In the beginning of a lot of these Super
Yeah.
Sentai shows, and I've said this in all the older casts of even the Americanized version, I go into it like I don't know what the fuck is about to happen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it. With the American versions, I was more of like, damn, like this is gonna suck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then I always get drawn into it. Like Super Sentais have not failed me yet.
no, they always been good.
You know what I mean? And I mean, there's some that is more strong and more dominant than the others.
They're more stronger than others, but I think they're all good in general. I think they were
Yes.
all being
There's
good.
certain things. If you would take the ones that were least favorite
Yeah,
and just switch like the characters and the people who played them, they would probably work out better.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I agree.
Or like you take the villains from like Car Rangers
Yeah,
and you take the Rangers of Mega Rangers. That would be an epic ass show.
yeah.
Even though Mega Rangers in itself
Was a
is
good
its own
show.
being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't gonna weigh in on that just yet.
Yeah. But yeah, any show to have Zonette on it, we all go for.
Sonnet should just be part of everything.
She should just be in every season.
But she should be just in the background like.
Yeah, she needs to be part of every cast now.
I love Sonnet.
So we are going Denji Sentai MegaRanger. This is again equivalent of Power Rangers in Space. Came out 1997, 1998.
Yeah.
Original airings.
Which Space came out in 1998, 1999.
Yep. So gave them a year.
just a
They're about a
little
year
bit
apart.
behind.
Yeah. Can't start on Valentine's Day actually.
It's for the lovers out there.
It's 51 episodes this season. There's 2 movies. I actually found one online for the Car Ranger versus Mega Rangers, which I plan to watch eventually. This is the 21st season of Super Sentai. Or Toki Sentai. You could like Toki Sentai is another thing also they call it. It's like anything that has to do with costume heroes and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I was talking about my tablet.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Sorry,
Koshi
viewers
Sentai.
out there.
Yeah, so Koshi sent Toshi, some shit like that. I don't fucking know. Anyway, we're talking about the Mega Rangers. Pretty much, I'll give you a little synopsis. I ain't gonna go that far into it, but it'll be something that you will actually get the whole somewhat of the gist of it. Kenta Date, a young high school student, is the champion of an arcade video game known as Mega Ranger. Due to his skills and abilities, the INET company brings him in to use his skill and abilities in a top secret project tied into Mega Ranger game. At the same moment as he is brought in 4 other students of the Digital Research Club at Morobushi High School, the same high school Kenta was attending, likewise appears at the company investigating the mysterious research being done by the scientists at the facility. However, as the 5 are within the facility, a preemptive attack begins from the evil Nijaja.
We are so horrible.
Nijaja.
Names.
Nijaja. I'm going to say it and pronounce it the way I see it is Nijaja. An evil dimensional force led by Dr. Hinlard
Hindler.
Hindered under Electro King's Jarvis.
Century.
I was with plans of conquering this reality. Dr. Kapu, the NNINET chief, then revealed the truth about Kenta and Friends. MegaRanger was not a video game, but actual combat simulator that had been designed to find a recruit and potential to become a super fighting team to strike against the I'm going to pronounce that terribly. The bad guys of the series.
The monsters.
As the Twist invaders destroy the base, Kabu gives Kenta and his friends special devices known as the Jizzalizers. By entering the code 335 and shouting, "Install MegaRanger," Kenta Kaishuru, Kenta, Kaishuru, Shun, Castro, Caristo, Castro, and Miku become the fight team known as Denji Sentai MegaRangers with the abilities to fight back against them. Against the bad guys.
Listen,
I'm not saying that.
These Japanese words are so hard
yes.
to pronounce.
You know, this is what I do usually before I do the cast is that I look at the pronunciations.
I can't.
And that's why I could do it. But this one I did not look at it.
It's funny because you were talking to me the other day. You're like, "Yo, we should be so fluent in Japanese by now." I was like, "I know shishi."
Oh fuck no.
You know what I mean?
Oh man. So pretty much, Professor Kobot was the one that pretty much designed a video game to just pretty much inherit their
in an arcade and a bunch of kids were playing.
So that was something that I pointed out to you early, and when we started watching the show, is something I liked a lot because in the first one. Yeah, so in the first one, in Car Ranger. Wait, hold it?
Host it.
Oh, host it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're on YouTube. So
oh, never mind. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I got distracted for a second.
I'm sorry.
So, I thought it was cool the fact that, like, in the first one, we talked about last season, Car Ranger, that they didn't know how to fight for shit. So, every time they had a chance, they just went inside the fucking suit and fought. This one, pretty much, it was pretty much digitalized. Once they put the suit on once, they knew everything. They knew all the weapons. They knew all the everything that had to do, especially with the fighting style, because they've been playing it all along. It became memory.
Programmed.
Yeah,
you
it was cool. I thought that was a cool thing.
I thought that was really cool too. Like in like the first episode, it just starts off. The kids are playing it. You know what I mean? It's like a simulator, like a hologram simulator, and they're like, "Oh, I like playing as this, I like playing as that," and then you have, the entrance of the Red Ranger.
Yeah, and Kenta was the Red Ranger in his game too.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
One thing I do like about this is that, this season, like unlike every other season, the Red Ranger was not the leader.
No, it was the Black Ranger this time.
You know what I mean? And I thought, to me, it was a good, fresh, new take.
The Black Ranger was the leader, but the Red Ranger was the focal point.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the fan favorite. He
was the focal point. He was the funny guy.
He was what the kids would have liked. You know what I mean?
He was funny too.
Where the Black Ranger was more serious.
Yeah, he was get his tail side. Yeah.
One thing that Space adapted from this was Nasada was actually the name of the space organization. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like I was happy to see that after watching Space and then going to this, and then actually seeing already from the beginning. Yeah. Like a comparison. Like holy shit. You know what I mean? Like I already know what's going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I thought that was pretty cool. So again, we kind of, if you actually listen to Space, which you probably will listen to that first before you go out here, the suits, we love these suits. These suits are,
yes, it's up there, 100%. It one thing that we got more of that was lacked in Space, was the helmets. The helmets shined so much more and actually held more of a purpose.
And gave them more abilities off of their suits and everything as well.
Just the overall look. Like, I remember in Space, there were certain scenes I was like, what the hell is that emblem in their head? Yeah. You know what I mean? I thought it was just like a microchip or some shit. Yeah. But in reality, each helmet had its own individual thing. You know what I mean? Like, the Red Ranger's helmet
Was a PC.
Was a personal computer. A symbol allowed him to upload data and program skills. So their helmets and their suits provided them with their own personal technique. You know what I mean? Like, each member of the team was a valid member, and they held their own. They had their own purpose. You know what I mean? Like, what's called the black. He had a satellite.
Yeah.
And the satellite enabled him to trace communications and sources of transmissions. The Blue Ranger, it was a digital television, which allowed him to create CG images and trap enemies in a movie dimension where characters from that dimension attack the enemy, which I did not know. I just so happened.
He did it in like one episode.
I know. I had it just written down in my notes.
Yeah.
The Yellow Ranger was a digital camera.
Yeah.
Which it searched for people and things, allowing it to see through walls and symbols, which wasn't utilized that much. I mean, there was a couple episodes where that was. The Pink was a cell phone.
And if you notice, her little pose is this.
Yeah. But it's funny because we do got a Sixth Ranger in the season, and the Sixth Ranger's morpher is a cell phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was.
But he was the original concept.
Yeah.
So that's probably what became the things, is the fact that they first did it off a cell phone, then it went into that, because he was the original one. He was the number one.
I mean, that's neither here or there. That's later.
We get into that like that, but
he becomes.
But I forgot what he had on his head. He had something on his head too.
Yeah, he had a symbol of a microchip.
Okay.
Which was the prototype was screaming at him. Well,
Yeah, he's a prototype. He was the original.
Just a microchip.
Yes,
they didn't know what to put in there.
Yes, and then we have the villains. Our villains. Well, we have their mentor, which is Kubota, which was the professor. You see him throughout the whole series, and he actually fucking will take matters in his own hands. He will control the Zord. He'll ride that tank. He's the only one that really rode that tank.
Hell yeah.
I liked him a lot. I think I built a liking to him a lot throughout the whole series.
I completely agree with you.
He was actually really good. He cared a lot about those Rangers, especially Kenta, because Kenta, he kind of took him as a.
Well, what I liked about him is that he was a mentor that earned his spot. You know what I mean? Like, he knew what it was. He was hands on. He did everything. You know, he wasn't Zordon floating and just talking, not knowing what the fuck you're doing. Like, he was involved in it, in the shit. You know what I mean? Like, how many episodes that we go through where he's in the Zord himself getting fucked up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Putting his life and his will and his honor and everything that he ever everything that he worked for online. You know what I mean? Which he's sort of the main reason why a lot of the shit that's actually going down.
Yeah.
But that's later.
Yeah. Pretty much. When we're talking about the villains, he had a big connection to one of the villains, which is Dr. Hillard. He's pretty much the main villain we see is Dr. Hillard, but we've seen King Jarvis starting in this second episode.
Yeah. Which he is like he's the dark sector of this world.
But he's just
we're gonna make it easy and make it compared to space. Yeah. So we don't blotch it too bad. You can get a better understanding.
He's an eyeball.
He is that eyeball, talks, but he flickers and it's kind of bugged out a little bit.
It talks. The flickering goes with his talking.
Like the thing that it's in is actually visually beautiful. Yeah. It's very artistic. Like, whoever came up with that did an amazing job, I thought.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought it was dope as shit.
We had Giga. And wait, what was his daughter's name?
Gorrail. Shibolina.
Shibolina, that's the girl, right?
Yeah, with the wears the blue.
She was hot.
She was hot, but she was hotter
outside the suit.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean? I didn't really care for the suit.
I remember the episode that she was the nun, and I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, well, the second to last episode, I'm not gonna give it away just yet, but
shout out to him.
Showed her in her real form. I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, because of our previous season of Car Rangers, there's not too much that can mess with Zonette when it comes to looks. Like,
yeah.
And I'm not the biggest lover of Asian women, like pure Asian women.
Until you met
Americanized.
No, until you met May. May was
May was the original.
Yeah.
But then May got blown out of the water by Momo.
Yeah.
And then after Momo, it was Zonette, and I don't think anybody
was gonna be Zonette.
Gonna be. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to do that.
We had pretty much if we will probably say the villains in their the ones that we know from America in their American names.
Like Yogande.
Yogande is pretty much Ecliptor.
You know what I mean?
And Bidabee was the reason why they got grown. He just bit people in the fucking face, and everyone grew.
And Gurail was Darkonda.
Gurail was Darkonda, and Mag Gurail was like the final
Venus
form.
Flytrap wrapped in.
Yeah. Guerrero was the one that combined them two. Him and.
Yes, but that was only literally for like 1 episode.
2 episodes.
Which I was actually kind of really disappointed
Yeah.
in. They, check our previous cast, but we definitely praised them as villains. They were very good henchmen. They were badass. You know what I mean? I will say that with this, it's just the problem is with them is it's no offense to the Japanese culture, but the voices that were used for them, they were just like normal people voices. There was nothing significant.
Yeah, he sounded like a doctor.
You know what I mean? It sounded like a librarian was fucking telling me to shush. You know what I mean? And I was like, where's that grunting? Where's that badassness? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then we got the Psychos towards the ending of the season. The Nazi Ranger, which is red, black, Nazi Phantom, Nazi Vulgar, Nazi Blizzard, Nazi Sophia, and Nazi Jealous.
Yeah, well, they alone are just the most badass looking things I've ever seen.
And then you had the Psycho Nazis, which were a bit stronger monsters that came in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
That's when that big ass lion and shit like that, they were actually pretty much badasses.
I wish there was a lot in this season that America didn't use.
Yeah.
That I wish that they did. And like we both equally hold space up very high on our list.
Very, very high. It's my number one.
To come to this and see like what could have been added to it,
I think
it just could have made America even more better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think what they did take from here, I think made this series strong as well.
I agree.
Because like when we go into the episodes, the Psychos, they were exactly very similar to the American ones.
Like they had episodes that were verbatim exactly the same from America. And a little history with the America, that was a season that was like go hard or go home.
Yeah, because they were about to be canceled.
Of cancellation because the flop of Turbo.
We're looking at you, Turbo.
And Car Rangers was a really good fucking season.
We blame Justin.
Well,
it's all Justin's fault.
And Bulk Skull became fucking.
It's all Justin's fault.
All right.
It's all Justin's fault.
And
the reason why Bulk and Skull stuck because of Justin.
Justin and Carlos. Carlos wasn't even that hated at that point.
Justin.
It took to get the space to really dislike Carlos.
It's all Justin's fault, and his fucking mushroom haircut.
Yeah, his bowl haircut. It's like his dad didn't have time to go get him a fucking haircut. His dad was never home. I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
What I did like, first and foremost, from straight from the jump, this was, I think, the first season of Super Sentai that I noticed that they actually kept their identity secret.
They kept their identity secret, and they were high schoolers. This is the first Super Sentai we've seen that was high school.
This was probably the most Americanized Sentai. I think maybe they saw the success of what Sentai was in America and tried to adapt that a little bit. Like, they added the black eye to this. They added this white girl, and they speak perfect English. This guy was from, like, Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And was speaking perfect Japanese. I'm like, I don't trust you. It's not because you're black. It's because you're black and you speak in Japanese.
Yeah. So, so this was the first season adapted into being high school students. They were all high school students. They were part of the digital club, and that's what kept them kind of their secret because they all had the club together. Somehow, some way, they didn't have other members of this digital club. Like, oh, I want to join that.
Who was it? Shun? Shun was the one that was he was he was the smart guy.
Yeah, he's the one, the
and
techie.
He didn't even want to be a ranger in the beginning. Like, he was forced into it a little bit, and it took like the first episode for Kenta to convince him, like, yo, friendship is more important than school.
Yeah.
Like, you're such a bad influence, bro. He could be.
I love Kenta.
He could have made like the cure for AIDS or
man.
Like,
he could have been a millionaire.
You know what I mean? He could have been a millionaire, chilling. You know, like
one thing I think well, we'll get into Kenta. Kenta was one of my favorite characters throughout the series. I didn't like him at first because he was too silly. And then I saw him evolve, and I saw how his characteristics went into being, like, when he was a ranger, and he really took it seriously.
Yeah, he didn't joke around. Like,
no, he took it very personally when he fucked up.
Which is, you know, like, to me, like, if I was a ranger, I would have to try and keep whatever teenage-esque or childlike-esque that I have left, because everything's so serious all the time. Like, you can't be all serious. Like, what's the point of just fighting all the time? You know what I mean? Like, you have to have some type of enjoyment. Yeah. Like, that's what, like, I now see after, like, watching Mighty Morphin. Yeah. Like, where was the enjoyment in their off time? What, fighting and training? Like, that's all they fucking did.
Yeah, they were, like, really, like, honestly, I would have hung out with them.
I'm like, all you guys do is boxing and working out. Like, I like working out.
And drink healthy shit.
I know, like
Billy, eat some fucking candy.
I don't know, like, everybody, like, Kim was a gymnast. Trini was also a gymnast as well. Yeah. Billy just did science shit. I think maybe Zach would have been the only person that hung out because he liked to dance. Yeah. And try to holler at bitches. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? And as I really think about it, like, honestly, I will hang out with the MegaRangers more than I'll hang out with the Angel Grove.
Man, I would hang out with the Psycho Rangers before I
fucking
hang out with any of them.
Kenta is honestly the dude. Like, he always wanted to eat. Me and him would have been the fucking best friends.
I'm like, yo, where you at? Yo, you just come back from a fight. Let's go get something to eat, bro. I know you hungry. You famished right now.
I think that's what I liked about Kenta a lot, is the fact that he had that real. He reminded me. You ever watched Avatar? Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I actually never seen that, no.
So he reminds me of Aang. Aang was this so powerful dude, but he always had to do something stupid to make you laugh. Like, his goal was to ride everything. Like, if it was an animal and you get on his back, he wanted to ride it, and that was his fucking goal. Same thing with Kenta. Kenta always wanted to eat, and that was his fucking goal. Just go eat somewhere and fucking have fun. So I actually liked him. I actually really liked him. I think he had the best story development throughout the series because he showed that when he was a ranger, he was serious. And
I'll be honest, man, I thought that all the Rangers had a really good.
They all had good character.
You know what I mean?
They all had, honestly, this was one of the first seasons for a while that we got actually full characteristics of the Rangers.
I think they realized that with Car Rangers is like our judgment of Car Rangers was on point because that's where it lacked. Yeah. It was more focused on the villain growth. Yeah. Like, this season actually had a mixture of it all. Yeah. You know what I mean? The only thing that I think the season lacked of, which is probably premature for me to say it, is that I didn't know what the fuck they were fighting for until, like, episode 30-something.
Yeah, and that's when the story started really getting...
like, intense, like, emotional. Like, this show was emotional as shit. It's just, like, for me, it was just a bunch of filler episodes. Like, we get the gist of this eyeball being there, telling this guy who looks like the vampire Dracula version of it,
he looked like he had a Japanese Count Chocula cereal.
Or remember that guy in the 90s, the vampire guy that was in fucking Happy Gilmore? Yeah. Jackass. That guy, remember he played that vampire guy?
Yeah, in Monsters.
Like, in everything that we he was in, like, infomercials. Yeah. He was in, like, how to do things in school, like fire safety shit. Yeah. He was like Clifford the dog, but a vampire. You know what I mean? Like, that's sort of what he was like. I had no clue what the fuck they were trying to do. You know what I mean? We had such badass villains coming in.
Yeah, we did.
Visually looking badass, but what the fuck were they fighting for?
Yeah.
So technically, all I can think of is that they were just trying to conquer Earth.
Yeah.
We don't know why, but they're trying to conquer Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, but by episode 30, that's when we started getting like the real story and what's the background.
Wheels started fucking turning.
It started
man.
really getting real. The
Shit
cycles
started
came
crazy,
in, and
man. Like I was like,
yeah,
floored for it. You know what I mean? And this season was 51 episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was
like,
strong. It was a long one.
It definitely was. Even though I said that there was a lot of filler episodes, the filler episodes were important though because it gave more depth to the Rangers. Each episode was more focused on the Rangers. Like Miku, that's her name.
Miku, yeah.
Yeah, Miku. Like there was a lot of episodes about her.
Yeah.
You know, like Shun always ended up in a hospital. He always got his ass whooped because he always put himself on the line.
No, the Black Ranger.
Shun.
No, that's not Shun. It's Kashu.
Kashu. Yeah, Kashu.
We call him Casey.
Jagodowski.
We're gonna call him Ke because his name is hard to pronounce.
Chisatu.
Yeah, that was the Black Ranger. He always wound up fucking getting hurt and shit because he always sacrificed himself. Yeah.
Man. Always.
I like the fact that I feel same way. I feel like I think the beginning series it was pretty much to develop the Rangers.
Yeah.
To develop the characters and the commodity of them too. Because you also had like the red and black bumping heads. You had the red and blue bumping heads in the beginning of the series, and then they got more and more together.
As much as I enjoyed it,
yeah,
it still felt like work to get through it. You know what I mean? It's like I was forcing myself through it. I don't like to do that. Like, I want this to be natural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then once it hit that mark, it was like, I'm watching 7 episodes in a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they got really good, and they got really strong, and you got you pretty much got the goal of why they built these characters to wherever they were. So you kind of got the commodity of them and how much they cared about them, because now you knew that they all had this history, like this road together, that when shit came to hit the fan, you actually saw the commodity of the Rangers, and that's something
they had a lot of heart, bro.
Yeah.
They worked their asses
One thing I loved about these Rangers is the fact that they used their weapons all the fucking time. They shot motherfuckers.
Thank you for that.
They stabbed
people. They shot people. They shot people a lot.
They used their blasters a lot. They used the combinations of their weapons a lot. And the fact that there was 2 combinations, there was one with the Black Ranger and one with the Red Ranger, was actually pretty dope.
When they did the alley-oop thing, that was good.
But they both had their own blaster.
I'm gonna be honest. I like the name Ugande. I know Ecliptor sounds good for America, but Ugande was a good name for him.
I like Ugande.
Ugande's growth was crazy too.
Yeah.
Like they destroyed him, and that was the gripe that we had in our space.
Yeah.
It's like he originally had a cape.
Yeah.
And there's a reason now why he had a cape, because that was his original form.
Yeah.
Then he got killed. Like he died. And then they rebuilt him back to be stronger. The man died like 4 times, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
he's like a cat.
The only thing with him that lacked was his voice, and you know what I mean? Like one thing the show didn't have, we didn't have like Astronema.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Astronema was one of the biggest high points in in space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we didn't have that, but I felt like what's her face sort of filled that role a little bit. You know what I mean?
She was pretty.
Which she was actually an android.
Yeah.
I didn't know until like later.
She was an android of the daughter of Dr. Hitler that he killed.
Yeah, that's
experimenting.
Well, that's later. That's later. Shibolina.
We like Shibolina. I liked her as a regular person more than anything.
See, like I'm just a big fan of the Sentais because like it's the raw footage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even when they were fighting as like Rangers, you could see the beads of sweat going down their face. You could see blood. Like that's one thing they never shied of.
You did see blood. And you did see, especially when they got their. One thing they did a lot in this season was they broke helmets.
Yeah. Which we never saw, like with the Psycho Rangers.
Yeah, they were cracking helmets and all.
I was mind boggled by the fact that because you never saw that.
When he did it to the Blue Ranger, when he cracked his fucking skull in.
Yeah, and you saw a little bit of his
that
face.
shit was dope. I was like, yes. Oh, yo. I was watching it at work, and I stood up for that. I was like,
you were like oh, shit. I was the same exact way because we have not seen that.
Yeah.
That was a first we had.
I think the first time we actually really saw that was in Time Force.
Yeah, well, I think Lightspeed Rescue was the first one.
Yeah.
They had the open visors.
Yeah. Time Force was the whole crack of the visor and shit.
West.
Yeah.
West,
but this one, they were cracking heads. Like, they actually was going for the eyeballs and shit and the helmet.
Steam coming out of
and they did it to the Psycho Rangers. That's how they defeated half of them.
Oh, my God. That was truly... Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, where have you been my whole life?
Yeah. That was a really dope aesthetic to this series. Is the fact that they were cracking... that whole... Again, like, I can't say you too much. That Blue Ranger scene when he just went... crack into his shit and his shit just cracked. Split. I didn't expect that at all. I was like, holy shit,
They're
yes.
Like, fuck you, I'm showing you my true form now.
I love that. I actually, and then he lost his memory. That was during when they were playing basketball together and shit, him and Kenta and shit. And they were like best friends and all that stuff.
They weren't dead. She didn't know who he was.
Yeah. But I actually really like that series. I actually like that episode. That was actually a really good episode. But when that was one of my highlights. It was that scene. It was just like, oh shit! Like, I think can Power Rangers actually do this?
A lot of the episodes, and I'm probably sure you can agree with me.
Yeah.
A lot of the episodes that we most likely completely agree with is the episodes that we saw that America really took.
Yeah, like the grandma episode.
You know what I mean? Like the grandma episode.
The chest episode.
That was good. This ain't even the episode segment of this series right now, but just to acknowledge that America took a step out of the book, out of the game plan of what Sentai did. You know what I mean? Like, it showed that what Sentai doing was good. They should have done that with multiple seasons.
I think they did. I think they should have. I think they did a few times, and I don't think we really put it. But this one, it was from scene to scene, especially with the grandma one. The grandma one,
10 episodes that were exactly the same.
Like the grandma one was exactly she dressed just like the grandma.
Like that.
Yeah, and she ran her with the car and everything.
Yeah, dude, that was cool. She stole the cop car, all that. She was cool as shit. She was just as cool as Ashley's grandmother, and Ashley's grandmother was better than Ashley.
That was really dope. And then the whole chess board game with the Blue Ranger when TJ was doing the testing, they did the exact same episode also. I think most of the Psycho Ranger episodes were the same, almost to very similar to each other, and which is fine because those episodes were fucking great, so might as well copy that shit. If it's not broken, don't
exactly. If there's a format that works, just go with it.
I thought that was really dope. When we go to the episode thing, pretty much the whole Psycho Ranger thing is going to be the fucking
every single episode of
everything from I will say everything from 35 up.
Even the computer chip episodes that were made to be completely different in America was dope. Yeah. But one thing I also have to give a nod to real quick is that this is the first season where the morphers were more there was more to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It wasn't just I forget the words that they used to say all the time when they morphed.
That's Rocket?
No, I'm talking about in Super Sentai.
Digitalizer.
Dino Baka, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it'd just be them morphing and just throwing their hands out. This, obviously, if you know anything about space and you saw space or heard our cast or just even just grew up with it, there was buttons you had to push. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a keypad.
335.
335. And you can check our space cast. I was like, yo, what the fuck is the rest of the buttons for? You know what I mean? And they they did a little bit more. In space, Andros never really touched those three key. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. He never really did it. Kenta used fucking one every chance he could get. That mega punch.
He punched everybody with that shit.
That was like his Hadouken. You know what I mean? He did that.
I think the difference between that was the big difference between Andros and Kenta. Kenta was very experimental with the fucking powers.
Kenta was I'm gonna use everything I can.
Everything. He tried everything, and he was gonna do it.
Give me something new so I could use it, please.
He wanted to be the test dummy. He was like, yo, just give me it. I'll fucking do it.
I think Andros was more structured. He was
Andros was more trained.
Yeah, I'm going to beat this guy
But if you really think, if you're going to really think about it, the fact that he had his own Ranger shit, you could tell that he probably had training. He already had the training. He already had like. I feel Andros. This wasn't his first rodeo as a ranger. He's been a ranger for a while.
Yeah, well, he's
been having the training.
Dude,
he's been having the training for a while. So I feel like he had that maturity as a ranger. As in Kenta, you give him a new range, like he's trying everything with the fucking thing. He pressed every button. He probably tried like different combinations that made him fat, made him skinny, made him tall, made him short.
It was so funny.
There was probably one that made him like a peanut. I don't know.
Like Ant-Man. You know what I mean?
So that was something.
That one episode with the grandma.
Yeah.
And she grabs the fucking the morpher and starts pressing all the buttons. I was like, holy shit! Finally, somebody has the balls to do it.
One thing I love it was their faces reaction because they didn't know what the fuck it would do.
All of a sudden, like earthquakes started happening and shit. Like, yo, that's what. And then it really wasn't that.
Yeah. But I like the fact that they kind of nod into that it might happen. Like their face reaction like to when she was pressing all the buttons. They were like.
Nuclear weapons go off, like because everything was all experimental. They had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
Then even the scientists didn't even know.
No.
You know, like there was a corporation, INIT.
INIT, yeah.
They tried to shut them down. Like, yo, we don't want these guys doing it. And then the mentor, who is like the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's like the GOAT of all mentors.
Yeah.
Like in America and in Sentai.
Yeah.
I've never seen a more hands-on, mentor ever.
Yeah.
What's his name? I don't have.
Kendo.
The old man. I'll just put the old man because everybody called him the old man.
Kabuk. I had his name here. Kabuta.
Call him the old man.
Professor Kabuta, the old man.
The old man.
Yeah.
Everybody called him the old man. He didn't even hesitate. Yeah. He loved it.
Kenta called him the old man. The rest of them called him Coop. And then they got it from him.
Silver Ranger did. You know what I mean? First off, Silver Ranger.
You know what's crazy is the fact that we haven't got to the Silver Ranger, and Silver Ranger was pretty much the prototype.
But that's how you know that the show is good.
Yeah.
Because we have so much to talk about without even getting to that. You know what I mean?
So we haven't even got to the Silver Ranger. Silver Ranger was what was his name? Yakuza.
Oh, Yakuza.
Yasuku. Yasaku.
Hayakawa.
Yeah, Yasaku.
Hayakawa.
Silver. Mega Silver.
The Zane of this world.
Mega Silver.
First off, I think to me was my favorite Ranger out of all of them. And the reason why I say that is because he, one, was an engineer.
Yeah.
He created this shit. Two, he was just as fun and quirky as Kenta.
Yeah, he was.
He had fun.
Yeah.
He stole this shit.
Yeah.
He stole the suit, and they were so mad at him for stealing the suit. He was like, I helped create it. It's mine. Like, why can't I do it? It fucking worked. I saved the day, right? Yeah. It's compatible with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was just fun, bro.
Yeah, he was a good character.
He saved the day on numerous occasions.
Yeah, he was a really fun character. They kind of replayed the whole 2-minute thing in the beginning of his Silver Ranger suit.
Yeah.
American replay that. But I liked him because he just came out of nowhere half the time, and he was just like, I'm here.
Bouncing around.
But he was as quirky as Kenta. I think Kenta is the fact that I just liked his story building throughout the whole series. But Silver Ranger was actually, I like him way more than Zane. I never liked Zane.
Fuck Zane.
I never liked Zane.
I only liked Zane inside the suit. That was it.
I never liked Zane. And now you know why you liked him.
Because it was him. You know what I mean? It was him.
Exactly.
It's just like Jason David Frank was the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
But in reality, he wasn't the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
And we liked the Green Ranger and Zoo Rangers because he's the fucking man.
Exactly.
I think
the
Silver Ranger, I feel like he was the older version of Kenta. Of what Kenta would turn into.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
You know what? That's a good point.
I feel like that's because he never lost the child-esqueness.
Yeah, he still had a sense of humor. Yeah.
But still had like an established job and was like a scientist and like he created the moon base.
Yeah.
He created Zords.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So think of Kenta 15 years after becoming a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Think of 30-year-old Kenta.
No, you bring up a really good point. I agree. I 100% agree with that. Because I see Kenta like having that drive to do other things as well. Because I kind of saw similarities
Kenta,
in them.
like he was a dummy.
Yeah.
He was a person that did not.
I don't feel like he was a dummy. I just think he was a goofball.
He did not take anything seriously though. He was failing in school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He had to take multiple courses, and Shun had to fucking had to save the day multiple times for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was immature. He was.
You
know what I mean? But when the suit was on, it was about business.
He was all about the ladies,
he didn't goof around. He was eating and fucking. That's
all
he wanted to do.
He was all about the ladies.
He was a typical teenager, bro.
Fell in love with his teacher.
But I really do think that he...
That's a good point.
That was like the beginning stage and the end stage. I guarantee you, Silver Ranger was the exact same way.
That's a really good point. I respect it. I like that point a lot. That works.
Because he was fun. Just look at the episode, which this ain't the episode segment, but
it doesn't matter. We could go into that.
When they
segue.
When the Psychos were channeling the sound movement and everything like that, and they were channeling on the Yellow Ranger. Or the Pink Ranger. It was the Pink Ranger, right? Channeled it on her. Yeah. And then he had to come in and save the day, and he came in like just bopping around, being stupid. Yeah. Like, bro, like I can see Kevin doing that. I can see him being that. Like, they could have been brothers. Like, that could have been his older brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like.
And one thing I liked is also in the Psycho Rangers, and he was the Silver Psycho in this one.
I'm gonna put it like this, and I said this as soon as I watched that episode. If I was the Silver Ranger, I would never leave that Psycho Ranger suit. The Psycho Ranger suit was badass, and he sounded dope as fuck. Yeah. How was he, out of the Psycho Rangers? Like, I love the Psycho Rangers. Yeah. The only fail of the Psycho Rangers was their voices. Yeah. It's because they had just regular Japanese guys, and we're not accustomed to hearing that shit. Like, at least with America, we would put sound effects and stuff like that. Not Zane. The Silver Ranger, I can't pronounce his name, but when he was the Silver Psycho Ranger, he had like a reverb to his voice. Yeah. He sounded demonic. Yeah. You know what I mean? Why couldn't they have done that?
They could probably. They should. Yeah.
Fucking. You know what I mean? Like, I think one of the biggest fails was Dark Honder of this and Ugande. Because they just didn't sound the part.
Yeah, the Dark Honda sound like a doctor. Like he's telling like a prescription.
Bro, it just was so
it's very
bad.
smooth, very quiet.
Dope as shit, but when he talked, he's like, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Are you evil? Really evil?
But he wasn't even like. That's one thing that Space had on this was they utilized those two characters to its utmost potential. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where I think Sentai took the character, took the Rangers and brought it to another level. Even though I do like 60% of the American Rangers in Space. Yeah. There's two I could live without.
Yeah. I liked all 6 Rangers.
Yeah, I liked them all. There was not a single one that I didn't like. It did lack on appearance physically wise, but that's vanity to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? But each woman that was in the show had moments where I was like, okay.
The bikini ones.
Okay. Like when the episode with fucking the Yellow Ranger when she was singing.
Yeah, she was cute.
She was cute in that. And a couple times with Miku, like, Miku, all she wanted to do was fuck Shun. Yeah. That's all she wanted to do.
She wanted him to notice her.
I can't wait to the episode segment because there's one episode specifically that will always reign in my head, which is probably, to me, one of the best episodes that I've seen because it was so real and so emotional. Okay. You know what I mean?
So let's get into the episodes.
Let's do it.
I like the beginning. I like the building on to the... I always like the beginnings because I think they tell a good story into building the Rangers together and everything like that.
So straight off from the bat, to me, episode 6. Okay. I don't have the names of the episodes.
We did it. The Roaring Digital Tank.
Okay. So this was the first episode that I realized America copied completely. Yeah. And it was an episode where this guy was too shy to talk to Miku, so he had his friend do it, and they blackmailed her into having a date. Yeah. Which is the same thing that happened with Cassie. Yeah. in space.
Yeah.
To me, that was a nod because that was like, okay.
The same episode, yeah.
It was exactly the same thing. That was the first one that shined on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought that was an important episode to start off with. I have actually a lot of early episodes that might not, like I said, I don't know what the fuck was going on story-wise.
Yeah.
Like the grand scheme of why the beings are doing what they're doing. But the growth of the Rangers is important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
Also have episode 8, which is...
I Can't Lose. Trying about teamwork.
Which is what we discussed is the episode where they went up with up against a clip door and the Black Ranger smashed his helmet.
Yeah.
That was epic. Because you saw his face through the visor. And it's the first time you saw that in Super Sentai.
Every episode that I had helmet got cracked, that was my favorite episode.
Which was every Psycho Ranger episode.
Yeah. Like every episode that a helmet got cracked is my favorite episode. Hands down. Like I just liked the effect. I thought it just shows battle rage. Like it shows the fight, and that's something I loved about it. A lot of mine, again, like from 35 and up, like every single episode, like was a must watch.
All right, well I got
came to that. Go ahead.
If that's all you have. Is
no, I have more. It's just let you go, and then I'll fill in with that.
Episode 10. I don't know why I like this episode so much, but Shun falls for that android girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, for some reason, he like fell in love with a fucking robot, and he did everything he could to save her. I don't know why that resonated with me so much, but it did.
And Miku was just spreading it out here.
She was hotter than all the other ones.
And Miku was just spreading it out here.
I think episode 16 is a game changer for me because it was oh my god, it's when they had 24 hours to live.
Yeah.
So it's like every one of them, like they're like, all right, they got poisoned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the whole city got poisoned. Everybody got poisoned. So they were like, all right, there's nothing we can do. Everybody went and ventured off on their own and did their own thing. Like Kenta went to go and got 10 things of food and just started eating and fucking like I forget what a couple of them other did. But Miku was sitting there and Shun, he wanted to finish his project that he was doing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because he was like, all right, this is my legacy.
Yeah.
So he's going to finish that. And Miko's sitting there. She's like, I got 24 hours to live. You want to know what's one thing I've never done before? She was talking about fucking. She wanted to lose her virginity, bro. I was like, that's the first time ever that I saw in these shows that there was like sex. Like sex was really involved.
Yeah.
I thought that was important. Because it's not... And that's one thing that we like about Sentai. Sentai is not... like goody American.
Yeah.
It's like gritty. It's real.
Yeah.
As a teenage girl talking about her feelings. Like, I've never had sex before. I got 24 hours to live. Fucking love you, Shun. Fuck me. Dynamo was at least licking ass. You know what I mean?
At least he was trying.
No, he fucked.
He got it, but he was trying.
Oh, he was trying all day. I just love that episode. I really do.
That was actually a really good one. What was that? I can't remember the episodes. I just know like what was happening in the
It was episode 19 where Kenta got really upset because he accidentally punched the fucking kid in the head.
That was a fucking great episode. I was like, yo, that kid deserved it.
Yeah, man, they replayed it like 4 times, and every single time I saw him get hit in the head, I laughed. Because it's like, he got punched in the head, he's leaking out of his head, he's bleeding. Yeah. And it's like, it made him doubt him being a ranger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like those fighters, or like somebody gets thrown off a horse. Like, you have to get back on a horse.
That was actually... Yeah, I was just thinking about that one, too. That shit had me fucking
every time I saw this kid get punched in the head.
It made me laugh.
I mean, I'm sorry. I in other people's tragedy, I find humor. I can't help that.
That kid deserved to get punched in the head. I don't give a fuck.
That was episode 19.
I liked the Silver Ranger stuff, so like I think that was 24. Silvery new face, and then 25 is the 2.5 minutes.
I mean, when the Silver Ranger came in,
yeah,
he just walked up to him like, "Hey, Kenta, did you morph today?"
Yeah.
They're like, "What?" Like he knew everything about them.
Yeah. Because he did design, probably built everything, so he kind of knew.
Bitch, I'm the reason why you are.
And then the 2.5, I liked the whole time limit thing, and they kind of really jeopardized on the whole time limit of the 2.5 and everything. What other ones? Again, I don't fucking remember the damn numbers. What else you got?
I like episode 27. That's with the grandmother.
Yeah, grandma.
I think the grandmother one.
That was pretty cool.
That was another one that was really like.
28.
Just like. I thought it was 27.
Give up the explosive granny.
That was just. I'm pretty sure it was episode 27.
28.
It was 27.
27
to 28. I don't know.
It's 28.
My vision started blurring after a little
explosive
while.
Granny. Yeah.
You don't understand. I watched 51 episodes in 2 weeks.
Those want to lose weight. The fucking
when she just
the curry.
Yo, the song alone with the fat fucking Asian guy.
Yo, I wanted a fucking crepe.
A crepe.
A crepe.
A fucking crepe.
A crepe.
A crepe in a bong.
A crepe in a bong.
Crepe in a bong.
Crepe in a bong.
You know, that
a waffle.
It's funny because it's like everybody was like force eating.
Yeah.
Hardcore and like meat.
Yo, she tried to eat the Red Ranger's bag.
She was eating raw meat and raw. Yeah. She had a chicken in her hand, a plucked chicken, and was gonna eat it.
That was actually really
She started
funny.
biting on his shoulder, I think, at one point. It was pretty bad.
Friendship Full Throttle, which was I think the one with the. What was that? It was It was a jealousy thing between the Yellow Ranger and the Pink Ranger.
Oh yeah. Because the Yellow Ranger was talking with Shun.
Yeah.
And because they were
get off my man.
They were into CG and stuff like that. So Mika was like, "Why the fuck you talking to him?" Like the whole thing with Mika was like she wanted Shun the whole time.
Yeah.
It was a major thing to her. You know what I mean? So there was that whole big thing, and that's when the Psycho Rangers. Came in, the pink and the yellow Psycho Rangers, and they started fighting.
Yeah.
That episode was fucking nuts.
Yeah, that was really good.
The introduction of the
pretty
Psycho
much
Rangers
the Psycho Rangers period. So from,
I
think it was
5-6 episodes straight.
35 all the way to 40 something.
Well, yeah, because 31 and 32 was Dark Condor. He destroys the Galaxy Voyager.
Yeah.
And which is one of my episodes that I like, and that's when the Rangers go to the moon.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
You know what I mean? And that's when the Silver Ranger's there, like, I made you another Zord. Here you go.
Yeah.
What? All right. I have to, because as I'm going, the juices flowing in my head. One thing that Sentai did that is so much better than Space is that the utilization of the Zords, the sounds of the Zords, the way the Zords move, the looks, the whole thing, like Sentai did an amazing job with selling the shit out of them.
So one thing I will say, and this is gonna go out. I think this is gonna go for till all the seasons we do. Sentai Zords, period, fights, everything is gonna be way better than America.
Well, I hope it's better. I hope it's better in Sentai than it is in Wild Force, because Wild Force, that fucking CG just.
But they show you more. Even if they use CGI and like that, they're gonna show you more.
There's so much more with the Zords in this than there ever was in Sentai.
Because one of my favorite scenes is when the fucking when the Astro Megazord is coming in with the shield and the fucking sword. That's one of my fucking favorite scenes that I see in this thing.
Every single man in Space didn't even utilize that rocket like that. That rocket went up their motherfucking asses and blew shit up. You know what I mean? Like they came in
dirty rocket.
Bro, it was very Voltron-ish. It really was.
I really dug it.
What was in Ready Player One? What was that Zord that
the Gundam?
Yeah, the Gundam.
Yeah.
Bro, it was just like that.
Yeah.
With like the stance and ready to go, like. The Zords kick some ass.
This is something that, again, I think we're gonna get a repeated thing with Sentai, is the fact that honestly everything that we did before this, we always emphasized on the Zords. The Zords were better used. They used better visuals. They used the better. They show a side view that we never seen before. Yeah. Is the fact that they really captured the Zords, and they've been doing this for fucking 50 years.
I feel like America. They showed as much as they could show to make it like cohesive with what they were doing,
or ratings.
Yeah,
Because
I think that with the Sentai, they showed more of the Zords because that's what they were more interested.
But like also you see the Astro Megazord actually stabbing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So like they're not gonna have a fucking Zord stab a fucking thing fully through. So that's the reason why I could say that's the difference of the two. But I did like certain scenes, like again when the fucking Astro Megazord is coming with the shield and sword, and fucking the professor's the old man is fucking like controlling it. I like the fact that the Rangers did not have to control the Zords. I like the fact that he came in with the fucking this little
or even that
intern,
that tech friend that we both thought was gonna end up being the Silver Ranger, which wasn't.
Yeah.
And Kenta fell in love with like his girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. It just shows like the sacrifice that everybody that was involved in it. Like it wasn't just the Rangers doing it; it was a whole team of people that was involved.
Do you think they were paid?
Oh yeah, they had to.
I think they're all interns.
Like all interns, they're like a loophole. Like
all interns.
You're gonna get some real connections.
You're gonna get some credits.
You know,
credits.
After you're done, we might hire you, but
you might.
I think that's why fucking the bad guy is the bad guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Fucking paid.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Which we never even discussed him. Just really quick, like the reason all we know at this point in time, because the his, which I actually absolutely love, his reason for doing it all was not disclosed until the second to last episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so we don't know why he is acting the way he's acting.
Yeah.
But he was actually a
professor.
He was a professor with our mentor.
Yeah, they created they created the Rangers.
He got sucked into a computer.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what the fuck happened to him. Which now we know that he became Hitler.
Yeah.
Japanese Hitler, whatever. But
so there's one thing I'll mention. So we were going to this episode during the fight scene. The fucking thing that he became. Wasn't that using Lost Galaxy?
I'm being honest.
I remember seeing his. I remember seeing that fucking character. I just don't remember fucking where.
Lost Galaxy was such a vague memory to me because I really did not like it.
Okay, so there's a chance that I think that character is used in Lost Galaxy. Like I remember, I recognize his face. I know the character, and I was just like, "Yo, I've seen this. This is not in space. I feel like I've seen this in another Ranger series."
I saw it as well, but the thing had like a Psycho Ranger face a little bit. You know what I mean? So I don't recall.
You're talking about the dude with the blue head, with the red.
Oh, when he came out. Like,
yes.
Oh, okay. When he pretended to be a monster.
Yeah.
Like in physical form.
Yeah.
Not in the Zord.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an egg-shaped fucking.
Yeah.
He was like an alien dude.
Yeah, I think he was in Lost Galaxy.
He might have been. I don't know.
I think he was the beginning. In the beginning of the season, I think he was like one of the main villains. Anyway.
So. I mean, we talked stream of episodes. I just want to touch it right back into the Psycho Rangers.
Psychos.
Like, second that they hopped in there, fucking nuts. They look nuts. Their helmets, everything just was like a 10 out of 10, man. There was nothing wrong with what they did.
The moment he broke the Blue Ranger's helmet, that was it. Like I was like, Psychos are fucking amazing.
So you want to know what, from the very beginning, what I loved about the Psycho Rangers is when they first met up with the Rangers, they were dressed as the Rangers.
Yeah.
And what they said to them was, it's like they dressed like that out of respect for the greatest warriors in the galaxy. So they dressed as the Rangers because they thought the Rangers were the greatest in the galaxy. So just to fuck with them, they did that. Like I said, the pink and yellow fight with them was crazy.
Yeah.
That's when we started seeing the breaking of helmets. That was the beginning of that.
We like that.
I also like how there was the episode where now they killed all the Psycho Rangers.
Yeah.
The Psycho Rangers were still alive in Spirit World.
Yeah.
And then the main the guy, the fucking eyeball.
Yeah.
He got destroyed, but he went back into his computer form because he was actually like a computer generated thing. and he brought them back. And the Rangers were defeated at this time. Like, they were sucked into the computer and they were turned into cards.
Yeah.
Chips and shit. The Psycho Rangers were so bent on revenge that they didn't kill them, that they brought them back to life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They brought their nemesis back to life just so they could try and kill him again. Like, their egos were their downfall.
They did the whole shit the Joker would do.
Hell yeah. 100%. They are the Jokers of the Super Sentai. That is actually fucking genius.
Because Jokers will fucking...
They'll do anything.
Joker will kill the person that killed Batman because he's pissed that he didn't get killed Batman.
Look at the Harley Quinn show.
Yeah.
He chose Batman over Harley Quinn because he was like, I can't stop not chasing Batman. Like, what would the Joker be without Batman?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Who's going to stop me?
Yeah, exactly.
They are the Jokers of the Power Ranger world.
There we go.
That's amazing. That's a good analogy
right
there.
I just thought about that now. I have good thoughts.
That's good.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes, though.
The last 2 episodes were epic.
Man, up to this point in time, I was so, and I was telling you, I was like, yo, Space, this is the first American show that has it. You know what I mean? And then once it came to the last 2 episodes, I was like, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, yo, it honestly, once the cycle started, I was just like, fuck.
Yes, but we were used to the Psychos.
But
they were utilized different.
But there was things that I loved about this.
More other things
the breaking the fucking helmets. That's what I loved.
And it never happened in America. When I saw that, I was like, did I miss that?
Yeah.
Did I miss that in Space?
I wanted the breaking of the helmets. Those breaking of the helmets were such a standout.
Because it showed a vulnerability, and that's when they really broke out. All right, I'm going to show you my true form.
Yeah, exactly.
Gave them a reason to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the second to last episode literally had me almost in tears a little bit. We found out why What's-His-Face was doing all this. You know what I mean? And he was a very renowned scientist, him and his partner, which is the old man.
Yeah.
And he created something to with the old man was creating something to put yourself in to be a better version, like a universal soldier.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. The bad guy was creating something to make you as a person stronger, so you don't need a suit.
Yeah.
And his daughter volunteered to be the first subject, and she ended up dying because of it. And then he got blacklisted and, like, literally shamed to the point that, you know, he put himself into the computer and then created a look-alike for his daughter.
Yeah.
And then this is when Yogande turned red. Remember the episode?
Yeah.
He fucking red. He looked dope as hell.
Yeah.
And then she sacrificed herself for him because Kenta came up with his spinning dagger
the drill
and hit her in the back.
Yeah.
And then he ended up killing Yogande. And then she went back and then she was like, just want you to know, like, I love you, father.
Yeah.
And then she fell and she fucking died. Like, bro, I was like, there's the one time I was like, wow. I was like, it's not her fault for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that shit had me fucked up. Bro.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was really
so
sad.
Emotional.
That was they get you. They get you.
And then the last episode.
Yeah.
Where he actually explains it. He was like, yo, this is why I'm fucking doing this. And I will not give up until you fucking people. He's like, I will put my mind and my heart and soul into this Zord before I let you motherfuckers beat me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just... One thing also that happened in those episodes is, like, the whole city turned on the Rangers.
Yeah. They turned on them a little before that episode because when they found out...
blaming them for it.
So when they found out their identities, which was a couple of episodes back, they, like, the school kind of kicked them out. And then they're like, oh, we don't want you here. Why the fuck you're here? You're going to put us in danger and everything like that.
I've never seen teachers care so much. Like, they're not going to graduate.
Yeah. So they just kicked, the whole city turned their backs and everything like that. And they're trying to get them up. And then towards the end, you get them all back trying to cheer the Rangers.
At the end of it, they stepped up.
It was dope. I liked it.
Bro, very emotional. That made, like I said, Space was holding it strong.
Yeah.
Until those 2 episodes, I was like,
I had a feeling it was gonna.
I don't know. Man.
I had a feeling it was gonna be a fight.
I don't.
I was hoping it would be a
I don't
fight.
know who won this fight, man.
So I was hoping it would be a fight. Like I was hoping, like Dead and War, like it would be a fight.
This was like Rocky 1.
So
with Space and Apollo Creed, you know what I mean? Space and Sentai, they were going at it.
So, I think. Damn. I think, to be honest with you, with both series, I think they both get a point.
I think it's a stalemate, bro.
I think they both get a point.
I think that Space had everything that we wanted.
Yeah.
And then Sentai had everything we deserved. You know what I mean? Like we got the best of both worlds by watching both of them.
I think they both gonna get a point. I think Power Rangers, the Americans, gonna get their first point.
Yeah. First.
So right now it's 6-1.
It's 1 up. It's 1 against fucking 6.
6, yeah, 6-1. Oh, 7 will be 6, yeah.
6, yeah, I think 6.
Because I think both versions did such a good job in trying to build what they did.
I'm still caught up in those last 2 episodes.
The last 2 episodes were really excellent.
Today, I'm still emotional over it.
I think what they did with those 2 episodes was what everything built to that episode, and I think that's what made it so strong.
All the shit that I was talking about, like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like it was answered. Like thank you.
But now I gotta cry.
In such dramatic form.
Yeah.
Like cinematicness.
You know what? I like that. I like that I'll put it in wrestling terms. They let the baby face lose, so the baby face will lose so much. Then by WrestleMania time, it finally gets that win, and you're like, yeah, I go fucking nuts.
Whereas Super Sentai has been Undertaker in WrestleMania every year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So we got, you know what? So Space deserves a point. MegaRanger deserves a point. I think these both were equally good. And this is really hard to say because I think on a lot of the Super Sentais, they were a lot better than American counterparts.
Yes.
This one, I think America really picked up the...
I think the overall story of Space is better.
Yeah, because it's more explained.
I think they have more consistent episodes.
Yeah.
Even though they bit off of a lot of MegaRanger,
and that's fine.
You know what I mean? They bit off a lot.
That's fine.
But I think Astronomer really
did
it. You know
all
what
right.
I mean?
So
and the way they utilized Dark Condor and Ecliptor better than they did in this sort of overpowers it a little bit. You know what I mean?
So, speaking of that, going into this, I think the villains in Space were they're better developed than the ones here, and that's hard to say.
Yeah.
I think the main villain got a full development, but everything else was kind of out of sight.
Even their henchmen, though, worked better.
Yeah.
Like Dark Condor
and
was better in America.
I feel like they were more memorable.
I was very disappointed in Ugande and fucking...
I think they were more memorable in America.
They sounded better.
The Rangers. The Rangers themselves. I actually prefer the personalities of Mega.
Yeah, me too.
But Andros himself, I think Andros himself, TJ and Cassie really hold the mold for Space.
They definitely did.
I feel
they deserve their recognition.
I feel as much as I liked MegaRanger, I think Andros was such a strong character that overlaps the MegaRangers.
Yeah.
So I'll give that one to Space.
But finale wise, that is a stalemate. Because the
that's
finales
even.
of Space and the finales
they're both pretty fucking epic.
Were like so emotional, bro. Like you couldn't ask for better endings for counterparts. You are literally looking at the same equal fighter headbutting each other, man. Like it was so good.
So we have 2-1. Ending is 1-2-1. So
Space wins it. Space wins it.
Shit.
I'll be the one that says
Zords
is
MegaRanger.
MegaRanger hand down.
Mentor. Yeah. You know what? Mentor, MegaRanger.
And that's killed Mentor for anything.
But they killed Zordon. Up to this point in
time.
Killing Zordon. Killing Zordon gets like 5 points.
Everybody knows if you check our previous cast, the hatred that we have.
So overall, this will be the first.
Be a coin toss at the end.
This is going to be the first season that beats Sentai, and not by much. It's by like a
smidges.
It's by like a little hair. Like extremely little hair. If MegaRanger went against any other season, I think it would have won.
Yeah.
So, Space is our winner.
Is the victor. Wow.
That was a hard one.
Wow.
I feel
I'm still like
I feel a little dirty about that.
I'm still sitting here like, are we making the right decision?
I feel a little dirty about. I feel a little dirty about it. A little dirty. But I think, as you pointed out, the story was way better in Space.
Yes.
I think the fact that they made like a Legion of Doom or evil, like they connected the world together.
Exactly.
I give that to them. I like the fact that Elgar was in it. Elgar was hilarious. I like Andros. Andros, I think the reason why I like Space so much was because of Andros. I liked his evolution of the character. And I love the fact that he was such a loner. He was such a badass in the beginning. But he developed the friendship with the team. I like TJ. TJ was an amazing Blue Ranger. And I put him high in my top 5 in my Blue Ranger list because he showed the leadership of a red, but he was blue.
I feel like Space tried harder.
Space was...
They tried harder to satisfy us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where, like I said, with Mega, 3/4 of the entire season, I was like, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
But then they hit you.
And then it's like,
they hit you like a 5 hit combo.
It was wow, like I'm being dragged underneath the train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
So this will be the first season that Space American will win. But it's fucking hard. I still feel guilty.
Like I'm gonna sit and I'm still gonna ponder with. I agree. Space wins it, and I've been saying it to you as we've been periodically watching this. Space got it. Space got it. Space got
Space
it.
wins.
And then I told you today, with the last episodes, I was like, I don't know anymore. I don't.
So Space
wins.
Wins.
Like the verdict, I'm gonna stick with the verdict.
Space
go with your first
wins.
instinct, and Space wins.
Space wins.
Astronomer alone, I love her.
So Space wins this one. This battle. This battle was to the T. This was like
both seasons lacked like Dark Sector sucked. I'm sorry, he wasn't that good, and the eyeball wasn't that good either.
I think Dark Sector just brought the villains together, and I think that's what I like about
just like
it.
His brother.
No, I like the fact that they made it like a Legion of Doom kind of thing. That was the reason why I like Dark Sector.
And bro, like just
Dark Sector just talk shit.
My major gripe of MegaRanger is the lack of utilization of Ecliptor and Dark Condor. Like their stories.
And they're strong.
Space so much better.
They were strong, yeah.
And Dark Condor lasted longer in space.
Yeah.
Like none of that footage was part of Sentai.
Yeah.
None of it. Like that had to have been American. That Venus flytrap wrapped in bacon.
Yeah.
Fucking he's the one that killed Dark Sector. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But wow.
So, we're going to end this cast and just saying that they both are amazing seasons. Watch Power Rangers in Space. You know what's funny? And this is something that I loved about the season. And this is something that I say is the key point of this podcast. Is because of Space.
It's because we watched Space first.
No. Our first conversation about Power Rangers is like, have you ever watched Space? You said you never watched Space.
That's what started this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended off in Turbo.
Yeah.
In my original youth.
And you told me you never watched Space. I was like, do me a favor, watch Space. And after you watch Space, everything.
Here we are.
Yeah.
2.5 years later.
So Space is
actually March will be 3 years.
Yeah.
Because we did our first cast.
Yeah.
On my birthday week.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
But
3 years ago.
Honestly, our MorphinCast is because of space.
Yeah, no, you are not wrong about that at all, my friend.
And we're going to leave it there.
That's the whole reason why the MorphinCast exists.
And we're going to leave it there. The reason why it's such a positive thing.
That's good. I like that. That's poetic.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Man. That's cool. I like that.
So this is the MorphinCast. I'm Mark with the mic.
Well, I got to do my shout-outs.
No, we're going to do shout-outs.
All right.
He's Tenacious T. You can find us everywhere on multimedia. We have a link tree on Twitch and YouTube that connects us all together, so you could get on that link tree. We have a Facebook page, Red Cyclone Inc., and the Wrestling Babble. We have Instagram, Tumblr, WordPress, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Twitch TV, all Mark with the Mic and Red Cyclone Inc. Shoutouts.
First and foremost, always a shout out to Lagunitas.
Yes.
Who is our proud unsponsored sponsors.
And we
literally have Lagunita cups that we drink out of as we do this.
Yeah, and that was because of this gas.
Salute to that one.
Salute. And then we had a little special guest, Stone Pie IPA. It made an appearance in between.
Yes. it made an appearance on a previous cast. Always shouts out to Game On. Retro video game store out on Long Island, based out in Setauket and Miller Place, specializing in everything from your old school retro video game needs to old school action figures to trading cards to games to they have the real Ghostbusters unopened box sitting on a shelf.
You know what they may have?
They are legit. They got free arcades for you to play. You can walk in there and not spend $1 and have the greatest experience ever.
Go to Game On.
When you speak of a company that reflects this community, this being of Game On does it. Shouts out to Tristan. Always shouts out to the Ray Sean.
Yeah, Ray Sean.
To the Max. My brother.
He'll be back here again. We are debuting a Ninja Turtle cast. Our first episode will be next month, and we don't have a name for it yet, so we ain't gonna tell you the name. I'm thinking of it right now, but we're gonna introduce it. We'll be reviewing the original '88 movie.
Please check out our other cast, Not a Trekkie. Which is a Star Wars based podcast. We have 2 episodes out now.
Yeah.
By the time this episode comes out, episode 2 of Empire Strikes Back will be out and available for all listeners.
Yes.
Please like and subscribe and share.
Yeah. All on SoundCloud, Mark with the Mic and Red Cyclone Inc. Follow all our social medias. Follow everything. Shout outs to, I guess, shout outs to my guys in Red Cyclone Inc. Cleric Jenkins, Mike, Louis Beans, the Flying Grayson, Lil Steven, always supporting and watching our cast. Thank you for actually.
Shouts out to the Drunk
Yeti.
Japstar.
Drunk Yeti. Shouts out to the Sally Beebs. Sally Beebs. Follow his Twitch channel, twitch.tv slash Sal the Drunken Yeti. He does a lot of Warcraft and Call of Duty, Apex, and shit like that. So definitely check him out. All in all, our next cast, we are going back in time.
We are not.
Not Time Force, though.
No.
We are going back to before Zoo Ranger. We are going
before what America knew Power Rangers for.
Exactly.
Which was actually supposed to be the original Power Rangers.
Actually, the one that Stan Lee originally,
Spider-Man?
the one that no.
I would love to watch the Spider-Man one though.
I really do.
Let's do it.
I really do.
Can we make that a
But no, we're gonna try to do that. But the one that Stan Lee was trying to bring to America was Bio Ranger. Was the Bio Ranger one? That was the one he was. It was
in honor of Stan Lee. We should do that.
If you can find it, that was a hard one to find.
Pretty sure we can.
Anyway,
Shout Factory,
we are gonna go back, but they don't have that far back. They only got one far back.
Well,
anyway,
anything that we've already have watched, you can always check out on Netflix and Tubi. Tubi, which streams Shout Factory.
Yeah.
And Tubi is actually a free version of Netflix that has a very large amount of TV shows and movies
that's
that
good.
We all grew up loving and adoring. I really just found that out very recently of how in depth and their catalog of movies they really have, because mine is literally just programmed to what I've been watching.
Yeah.
So that's what pops up.
So you haven't really looked
I haven't
through
really explored it at all. So
they
it's
have
nothing but Super Sentai.
They have the shitty Street Fighter cartoon that aired on USA.
Bro, they have Double Dragon the movie on there right now. And that movie sucks, but it's amazing to me because Alyssa Milano in that camouflage. And
that one hair. Scene that she's bent over in the event.
In the truck. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
We rewind that a lot.
It's gonna be a full moon tonight.
Tubi got a lot of cool shit.
Tubi's got TV shows. They got
Comic Book Men.
They are just as good as Netflix. Yeah, it's fucking free, man.
But it just has commercials. But you could do commercials because you watch regular TV. But they had like Hell's Kitchen.
I can live with 8 seconds.
They have Hell's Kitchen. They got Kitchen Nightmares. They have so much.
Comic Book Men.
I'm on
season 6 right now.
They have the original shitty Street Fighter cartoon. It's hilarious. Watch it. It's funny.
Listen, you can lose yourself just losing yourself.
Exactly. Check out all our podcasts on SoundCloud, Mark with the Mic. We're gonna wrap this up now. Always remember, follow the Jinkies and fuck Zordon.
Yeah, fuck Zordon.
We were happy he died this episode. We don't have to really talk about Zordon
anymore.
And
we'll talk about Zordon again, but we will always end it with a fuck Zordon.
Yes. Watch Space. Watch MegaRangers. They both worth watching.